I had a new experience yesterday and up until now, the day after. I was out all day in the sun yesterday, and when I was on my way home, I saw a guy sitting outside a store with a bunch of bags and stuff. So I sat down and had a chat with him. He was 37 and from another country down in Europe. He didn't have a place to stay for the night. So I said I live just nearby. So for tonight, you can spend the night over at my place. I have a mattress, spare mattress, you can sleep on that. So I took him home. I cooked him dinner, and he was able to take a shower and cut his nails and shave his beard, and I made a bed for him and he slept in it. But then in the morning we had a cup of coffee and some breakfast and we talked. And I wanted to help him, but I also invited him home for me to get in touch with somebody in that state, but in my home and in my environment and in my energy, and just hear him out, you know. And I understand that a human being that lives on the street, they might call themselves a backpacker, but they're homeless. A backpacker is something else. There are reasons why they are living a life like this. They have subconscious convictions speaking against themselves, which is in relation to value, self-love. So I asked him, what are your dreams? What do you dream of? And he was like, dream? it wasn't like, yeah, I've thought about this, and it was empty, no dreams, no fantasies of anything, just going from place to place to place, from country to country, with his bags as his home. And I asked him, do you ever pray? Do you ever pray to receive something else than what you are receiving right now? And he said, no, I don't pray. And that's also something that everybody does who has a dream. If you have a dream that you believe in and that you feel strong desire for becoming true, you pray. That's a prayer. But he's just ambivalent completely. And I booked to do laundry this morning, and I asked him to collect all of the laundry that he wanted to get clean, and we washed his clothes too. And as the clothes were in the dryer, I said, let's take a walk, and we took a walk around the KRP for like 25 minutes. And I was listening to birds, and I was seeing all the spring flowers that have come up, tulips and violas, all of these beautiful colors. And I said to him, look at that color. And he's like, what? But he was in the same state I was. But he was looking for cigarette butts, preferably pretty long ones that still had some tobacco in them. So I look for flowers, I look for love, and he looks for destruction, which is a reflection of his inner environment and his subconscious convictions in regards to himself. That's what that teaching is about, if he becomes aware and take notice of what he's actually doing. And he might have been in traumatic situations that I don't understand, but that doesn't matter. And when we got back home, I talked to him some more about life, and he talked a lot about Jesus and Islam and Buddhism and all over the place. And what he spoke of was so random. But in his communication to me, it was like, I communicate this to you because I know. But yet he couldn't explain that. And when somebody can't communicate clearly what they understand, they do not understand it. This is a very common thing with human beings, that you say, well, it's difficult to explain, but I know. So explain it then, clearly. If you can't do that, that means you can't do that within yourself. So you can't do that with anybody else. So just be true about that. Then he said, the biggest problem in my life is that I haven't had any love for 13 years. And this guy was 37. I figured that he might have had a girlfriend or boyfriend 13 years ago. And when we were back doing the laundry to pick up the dried clothes, he just all of a sudden he said like, hey, have you seen Titanic? Have you seen the movie Titanic? I was like, yeah, it's a beautiful movie. And he was like, I cried when I watched that. I cried when I watched that movie. And I said, do you cry? Do you ever cry? He said, no. And when we got back inside, I asked him, do you ever say I love you to yourself? And he looked at me like, like this is something that is not possible. It wasn't like, no, I don't do that. It was more like, this cannot be done. you cannot say that you love yourself for real. This was the communication I got from him. And I said to him, you gotta have dreams. If you don't have dreams, you're just a sailboat that goes around in various patterns on the ocean, never reaching the shore. You're just a lost soul, a lost life. And you gotta say, I love you. I love myself. I love you to yourself every day. I know that this is hard for him because he is disloyal like yeah. But this is where it starts. You will not stand with your trophy when you've reached your success in the material world and say, I love myself now. I appreciate myself now. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's the other way around. You gotta fill your cup. Fill your cup is to fill your heart with self-love. That's what it is. And you will get help along the way reaching your dream when you pray. But you gotta have a dream. You gotta know what you want. He had a lot of bags, he had a lot of stuff. And when we came in the evening, I said, yeah, you can put all your stuff in the kitchen. It's all right. I was super tired, so I actually fell asleep like long before he went to bed, actually. I heard him eating when I dozed off. But when I got up in the morning, this was almost his home. He had unpacked. He had already like settled in. It was like, nice. So he's out now. He could have stayed like a couple of days if he wanted to, but he doesn't get it. And if he stays here longer, he's not gonna get it. He needs to learn the hard way. He needs to lose, not gain. He needs to lose and lose and lose and lose until he gives up his bullshit. And when that happens, you become humble because you have no choice. And then you feel sorry for being disloyal in relation to yourself. So you break down in tears and you say, please, dear God, give me another chance. I will do better. Which is difficult if you have a subconscious conviction telling you that you are bad. So that is the resistance part. That's why it's so important to start to pray to God, to Source, to Universe. Please, God, please, Universe, help me to understand what is holding me back. Help me to release what is no longer serving me. All the while, you state positive affirmations, like every day is getting better and better. I love myself. I appreciate myself. You see, if you state that, I love myself, I do better every day, I appreciate myself, I am valuable, that will not correspond to your subconscious convictions. So your subconscious convictions that are contradictory to something successful and loving inside yourself gets lured out when you say positive affirmations. That's how it works. Because the system will become disrupted. The system has been stable for quite some time in a negative vibration. Now that has to be shaken up. And negative energy and negative convictions need to be let go of. So you can end up in a stable energy, in a positive conviction, and in a positive state. So it's all good. It's all good. Just keep doing it. Just keep on. Ask to get rid of resistance. I still ask that every day. Because I want to be humble and I don't know what I'm carrying. I hope this story was inspiring. This whole experience was extremely inspiring for me. I ended the video because I heard a knock on my kitchen window and a guy said, "Leo!" And it was him. He left like 15 minutes ago and he returned now. So I turned off my recording, I opened the door, and I went out and I said, "What's the matter? Can I help you?" "I need to charge my phone. Can I charge my phone?" I said, "Get out of here. Get out of here. You're not going to charge your phone at my place." Can you see what a leech he is? He's such a leech. Despite his upbringing, origin of country, his trauma, whatever it is, he is a leech by choice. By choice. And as I was gonna send these videos to my computer, I noticed that when I was sleeping, he used my phone and went around the apartment filming himself and taking pictures.